Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from Riga. Just a second, trying to see if this thing is working. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're online. Hi, everyone. So let's begin the webinar, and I'll say little bit talking about the weather in Riga. The weather in Riga is kind of not that bad today. It was kind of plus 19, but feels like plus 10. So the weather is kind of okay. And how are you guys? How are you doing? How's the trade going? Today actually we're not talking about technical stuff. We're just talking about the central bank rates. I know some of you might not be interested about the central bank rate, but still, it's kind of we have to talk about this rate because usually the rate moves the market. Believe it or not, sometimes the rates have an impact in the financial market, whether you're trading currencies or you're trading stocks or indices or commodities. The rates sometimes have impact in the market. So that's the reason why we usually talk about this interest rates for the previous months. So if you have any question, feel free to ask me. Hey, Williams, Adams, how are you? How's Dominican? I believe this is beautiful country, and you guys have kind of I seen your what's it called the country on the internet, YouTube, and looks beautiful with the beautiful sea and blue waters, if I'm not mistaken. So let's jump to the rate, and fortunately today we're talking about rates. I believe next week I'm thinking of one topic which I will talk about next week. But I'm still thinking about it. How to I've already talked about stop loss before, but one thing I want to talk about is how to set a proper stop loss both for day trader and for swing trader in order for you to minimize your risk and maximize your profits. So I might talk about that next week, but I'm still kind of developing the story. So this interest rate, we already posted it on our website, or we already published it on our website. The rate was done by my colleague, and you can see on the article segment on the website Dukascopy.com. On Dukascopy.com, you see we have different rates from July, June, May. We have the rate. So we're talking about the rates for September. So to begin the rate for September, all over the world, the central bank, the policymakers all over the world, actually they're still kind of cautious, I would say, or cautious about the COVID-19, that is coronavirus, the impact. So they are really not doing much in terms of cutting rate or raising rate, because they know that if they cut any rate right now or raise rate, mostly if they raise rate, not cut, but if they raise the interest rate, it's going to affect the economy, because even the coronavirus already affect the economy so much. And right now, a lot of countries from Europe to North America to Australia, they already planning to go for what they called the second lockdown. Even in Madrid, already Madrid, yeah, in Spain, they already have their second lockdown. UK is planning maybe for next week they will vote to have restriction like until 10 p.m. and all the shops need to close. So Paris too. Paris is already at the verge of implementing their new lockdown because the coronavirus cases kind of increasing. So in other words, central bank, the policymakers all over the world, they decide to leave their interest rate totally unchanged, or and continue their policy, which is kind of propping up the economy at this point in time. So let's start with Australia. On September 1st, but this is, I would say this is kind of old, this September 1st, because yesterday or a day before yesterday, which is on the 6th, yesterday, the Bank of Canada, they announced their interest rates. BOA, the Bank of Canada. They announced their interest rate, and but still, there's no difference. What was in September, it was still the same thing October, because on October 6th, they increased their interest rate, they released their interest rate, and it remains unchanged. And the rate was 0.25%. So totally nothing changed. But what the policymaker did, the policymaker decided to increase the size of the ADIs to 2% at a fixed rate of 25 basis points for 3 years. So that ADI, just kind of, if you ask him what is the ADI, you can see the definition. She puts the ADI definition there, which is the terms funding facility, but the authorized deposit taking institutions would have access to additional funding equivalent to 2% of outstanding credit at a fixed rate of 25 basis points for 3 years. So it's kind of almost the same thing like what the European Union is doing, the UK is doing, but kind of a little bit different, because like they just printing money. According to what my colleague usually said, that they just printing money. Just go there and say, hey, they are printing money. Unfortunately, this is what all the central banks in the world are doing, because right now, if you look at all the global economy, even when you are borrowing money and everything, the rate is extremely low, from almost zero to negative numbers. I believe 1 or 2 countries have negative number. I'm talking about developed country, from the oceanic, from Asia to North America to Europe. So the interest rate, the borrowing interest rate is extremely low right now. So a lot of bank, they are just printing money. At the end of the day, maybe if the economy return back to normal, maybe in 2021, what they will do, they will start offering their bond. Now they are purchasing the bond, so that there's going to be circulation of money. So let's go to Canada. From Australia, we go directly to Canada. Canada, their interest rates, the last one, but we're still waiting for the I believe next week, the new rate. They will release the new rate, but bet me, it's still gonna be the same. Believe me, it's still gonna be the same, because I'll be doing the coverage of this interest rate for the last 6 months or since January, and nothing has changed since, I would say, not since January, but I would say since March, nothing has changed in terms of policymaker making their rate. So on September 9, the Bank of Canada, they voted to maintain their interest rate of 0.25%. So they left the interest rate unchanged, and this 0.25% has been there since March, if I'm not mistaken, March or April. And the policymaker, they said that they will continue the quantitative easing program. So they decide to continue the quantitative easing program with the last scale purchase of 5 billion per week. So in other words, if you want to put it in layman's terms, they're just printing cash. Printing cash, and like circulating it as a coronavirus relief fund. This is what they are doing for those guys that lost their job, for those hospitality and airline sector. So they're printing cash, giving those to those guys, because that is the sector that affect most this coronavirus. Because if you rewind back to 2008, the global financial crisis of 2008 actually did not affect the hospitality and the airline sector extremely much the way it is as the coronavirus, because this is a virus, a pandemic, and restrict a lot of travels, and government are shutting down. Even it's still going to be worse now, because we, like some country, they already entering the second wave of the coronavirus. So there's some of them already start shutting down those major cities, and they might still continue for this second wave. And the second wave already collide with the flu season, so it's kind of going to be very tricky. And the government, the central bank, they are coming with a lot of policy in order for them to maintain and keep the economy going. So we go to Europe, where we live. So we're just going from each continent. From America, from Australia, we are in America, the North America. From there, we're coming back to Europe. Maybe return back to the North America, the US, the biggest economy in the world. Maybe talk about that. So the European Union, on September 9, that was the last time the ECB released their interest rates. And what they did, they decided, the policymaker, the European Central Bank policymakers, they decided to keep the May refinancing and the interest rate unchanged at 0.00% or 0.25% and negative 0.50%. That is these figures. So they kept it, and it's the same since April. This is the same since April. But and what is still what they are still doing, they continue their assets purchases. They continue their assets purchases, which is what's it called, the Pandemic Emergency Purchase Program, this PEPP, with a total of 1.350 billion euros. So this it's kind of this quantitative easing, because according to last month or last 2 months, they said 30 billion every month. I think that's what they said. 30 billions every month. 30 billions every month. So the European Union, they keep 20 billion. Yeah, sorry, it's 20 billion. This is what. So they continue printing the cash too, and to stabilize the economy. And I was reading some financial paper yesterday, and in France, that's the second biggest economy in Europe after Germany. And their forecast, their central bank, they released their forecast, and they said that the fourth quarter forecast is going to be not that good. Yeah, the fourth quarter forecast is not going to be very good at all for France, but they are optimistic. They say that after the pandemic in 2021, the economy is going to return back to pre-pandemic economy. So they were very optimistic, but they said that the final 3 months is going to be on negative. The economy is going to contrast kind of negative. So let's move to the US. The US, a lot is happening to the US, but I don't want to talk about the politics part of it. I will just talk about the Fed, because the Fed. But one thing about the United States, sometimes the Fed, this time around, not even sometimes, this time around, the Fed statement usually does not move the market. Before I will go to the Fed, let me go back to the movements. For those guys that might be asking, hey, why will I be waiting for interest rate for these countries? What and what? You see, we have link below. If you click on this link, you will see the points or the percentage that the price move when the bank announce their rate. When the Australia versus US dollar, when they announce their rate, you can see there is kind of no big movement. It was just 7 people, 0.10%. So there was no big movement for the Australia when they left their interest rate unchanged. Canada, let's see. Canada, the same, nothing, negative 0.1%. So there was no big move. But the ECB, when the ECB left their interest rates unchanged and continue their quantitative easing, the same move. There's kind of no big move, because you know the reason why there's no big move, and the US, I will open it now. The reason why there's no big move is because investors and traders, they already know that they are not going to change anything, because even today the US, they have this FOMC minutes for respiratory. Yeah, you can see on the first factory is kind of red, the FOMC meeting minutes, but investors and traders, they already knows what might come out from there, so they are not really moved, because usually what moves the market right now is US is close to election, 3 weeks before the US presidential and general election, not presidential only, general election. So a lot of news. Donald Trump contracted what's it called, coronavirus. To yesterday, he said that he will not be signing this aid package, this coronavirus aid package, this relief package. So those stuff moves the market, not what the Fed's saying. I would say that for this month, there's no big policy that the Federal Reserve will, until the election. There's no big policy the Federal Reserve will bring out that will affect the overall movement of the currency. I'm sure of that based on experience. Only what will affect it is just follow Donald Trump and follow the news. Mostly it's Twitter to see what he's thinking and what he's putting out there. Yesterday he said that he will not sign the coronavirus relief package. But later in the evening, he was pushing the U.S. Congress to pass to pass the airline relief. That is the airline relief bill. I'll go back to, we have it on our news here. I'll show you. We got it on the news. Second. Yeah, U.S. Congress to extend the 25 billion bailout for airline. So President Donald Trump stated late on Tuesday, you can see even during the daytime, he was saying no, he don't want to. Williams, or I can call you Adams. The page is just go to Dukascopy.com. If you enter Dukascopy.com, we have a lot of stuff there. If you want to find out a lot about news, you can go to news, market news and research. We have pivot level, we have fundamental. This fundamental, you can easily see what happens and what is the movement. You can see it there. It's kind of very easy for you to see. But if you want to see the news, you can go to our page, market news and research. Then it's kind of very interesting because on this page, you can see the forecast for different currencies. You see today could go down, the gold USD. We already published the forecast for today, what we are thinking with the analysts, what we are thinking. And I already published, I'm the one that is doing the exotic currency. And if you go a little bit downward, you see I already posted, my colleague already posted the major currency, the gold, the USD JPY, and I usually do the exotic currency. So I posted this and this one too. I already posted the USD card, and not only USD card, also so you can get a lot of information from our website. So let's go back to the interest rate. The Federal Reserve voted to keep the range for the federal fund rate at 0 to 1/4%. That is what the U.S. Federal Reserve did, and also what the Federal Reserve said, they will continue to increase the holding of U.S. Treasury security and security agency. So to holdings of their securities and agency mortgage-backed security, at least at the current pace, to sustain smooth market functioning and help. So in other words, it's still the same thing. But however, before the Federal Reserve print money, the US Federal Reserve print money, they need authorization from the Congress up to the president. So they will not be printing money anytime soon because of President Donald Trump said, apart from this bailout package which I said for the airline, he said that the other relief bill needs to wait until after the election. So in other words, he said, you need to vote me as the president, and once you vote me in as the president, I'm going to sign the new relief bill. So that's what he said. So let's see what will happen. So Bank of Japan, you guys know already that Japan, they already have a new president, but not the new prime minister. But however, nothing has changed so far since September 17th. when they publish or they release their interest rates. And the Bank of Japan, they agreed to continue with the large scale access program for up to 100 billion. So that is what they decide to do. They continue this their access program for up to yeah, no, that is for, sorry, that is New Zealand. I just read you for New Zealand. Let me go directly. Sorry for that. So the Bank of Japan, it's still almost the same thing, but it's kind of a little bit different because all of them are the same. That's why you see I wrote it on little paper there. The Bank of Japan, they maintain their negative rate here. You can see I believe they are one of the only major countries that have this negative interest rate at this moment. So the Bank of Japan, they maintain their negative interest rate of 0.1%. And what they said, the Bank of Japan will continue to purchase necessary amount of government bond. The bank will also continue its QE, which is quantitative easing yield curve control. So their interest rate is low, which is good. And they said they will continue their necessary amount of Japanese government bond without settling an upper limit of 10 years. What they mean is that, wow, they'll continue printing money. However, they will still do their quantitative monetary easing with the yield curve of control to aiming achieve the price stability target at 2% as long as it's necessary for maintaining the target of a stable manner. So they're like kind of the same. If I go back to last month, like that is September, yeah, that was August. In the summer, they have the same situation. Nothing have changed up till now. So when the after their interest rate release, you can see the movement was kind of negative zone. The same with the US dollars, negative. So as I said before earlier on, we as traders and investors, we already know that the interest rate for at this moment will not move the market regardless, because we already except information comes out that the federal central bank might increase the rate, then you will see the movement. But if no information comes out that hey, central bank will increase the rate, this, that, or so, nothing might change. Believe me, nothing might change. So, and I'll go to UK, then New Zealand. The Bank of England, the same. They maintain their interest rate at 0.1%. Nothing have changed. The bank will continue its existing program of UK government bond. You can see almost the same thing which Japan is doing. It's like they're just copying and paste, I would say. What one central bank is doing in one country, the other central bank is just doing it. The reason why is usually not like this, but the reason why they are doing it because of you already know the situation. We're in the pandemic. So a lot of central bank they are trying to stabilize the economy. So this is what is happening. So the committee voted to continue the existing program of UK government bond and sterling of financial investment grade corporation bond purchases financed by the insurance of central bank reserve. So it's almost the same thing, just printing that money with bond purchases. That's how they are doing it. And finally, this is what this New Zealand makes kind of 0.49% movement when they announce their rates. Maybe something changed from the last time, I don't know. The Bank of New Zealand issued their rate statement that was on September 23rd. According to the official release, they continued their large scale purchase to up to I already read it earlier on, but I will just continue. The Monetary Policy Committee agreed to continue with their large scale asset purchase program up to 100 billion. So that is what I believe. This what but it's almost the same with that in summer, but their interest rate, you can still see their interest rate remains unchanged at 0.25%. And the last one, Switzerland, and yeah, that was Switzerland. I decided not to just talk about Switzerland because they are not big economy, and none of their rates will move major currencies. I will say. So, guys, this is the central bank rate. You can find that on our website from the Asia to North America to Europe. You can find the central bank rate there on our website. And next week I will be talking about. I'm still thinking about this topic, but maybe I already talked about it before, and maybe I want to emphasize more on it, on proper way to set your stop, have your stop loss in order for you to maximize the profit and minimize your risk. I think I'll talk about this topic because the topic is on my head, and just show you how to fix stop loss and take profit in a proper way where you know that you have rest of mind. Very little stop loss where you and take profits 1 to 3, also 1 to 4, depends. But I might change the topic. But in then, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you next week. Good luck with your trade. Bye bye for now.